looked at your money, you've used up most of your budget from 2001 to 2003. We can always use your next year's budget as a backup, but just see how far you go with ANZ. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. Say make it about 4 o'clock at the mock here. Okay. Here we're not Charles.
Tell me when. Okay.
All right, we may as well get started, and I'll ask you more or less the same questions I asked you before. Firstly, look, now that we're getting close to the end of the whole thing, do you have any regrets? Is there anything that could have gone better, that could have been better?
I think there are some things that we could have done if we had a little bit more funding in terms of looking after the comfort of the athletes. And I know quite a few athletes, the cold environment in Fiji is a bit difficult to deal with, and of course cold showers early in the morning is hard to come by. That we would have liked to address if the university was in a position to help us there. Also, in terms of some of the sports, in terms of support for the media, I don't think we did as well as we had hoped to. In terms of the support for the media, the technology, the telephone lines. But I think looking back, we feel quite happy with what's been achieved. We think we've raised the bar in terms of the organisation of the games, but also have proved to the SPG community that we have a marketable product which hasn't really been pushed before. In essence, most of the funding for these games are from the private sector. And if that's been able to carry through to Palau and to Samoa, I think we will have done well.
Is the fact that the games are becoming more corporate in terms of sponsorship, is that a good thing for them? Are we losing something in the process?
Well, it's for us, it's a new experience. One, having to manage not only the politicians that come to sporting events like this, dealing with the sports leaders, but also a totally different group, the corporate sector, which it's obviously quite demanding because they're spending a lot of money. And so for us, we've had a department that's been very busy servicing that group, but also found that as we move into games time, that the corporates have really adapted quite well and have been very, very supportive. So they've been learning too.
But do we run the risk, though, of creating games which are so difficult, so complex to put together that some of the smaller countries will feel that they simply are not up to the task and they'll have to leave it to countries such as Fiji, Samoa, the French Pacific?
I think you choose how which level you operate depending on the local market. There's very few of the territories that have a big enough commercial base to do what we've done. So I don't think there's any danger of us being swamped by corporate sponsorship. It's not coming from outside. The Olympic movement only provides a small fraction of the funding for events such as this. So I think for us it was a good experience. I'm not sure that I'd recommend it to the next person, but for Fiji sports in the future, we've established a very good link with the corporate sector, and already some of the corporates have now established links with their dedicated sports, so that's good.
Is there any way you can pass on the type of information you've gathered over the past years to the Samoan organisers who will need to deal with many of the same issues?
I think the biggest legacy that we'll leave to other countries is the database that we've set up with Sporting Pulse from Melbourne. It's a project that the Oceania National Olympic Committee started with Sporting Pulse, and in fact SPG 2003 has been a guinea pig, and that has led to some problems with the accreditation. But what comes out of this is a very affordable games management project which we can pass on to other countries. And things like accreditation means that all of the athletes are now on the database. In terms of Palau, for example, or for up here, it's just a matter of clicking the athletes that are representing and you've got your accreditation pass. And also for us a results service that's working very well.
At the beginning of the Games there had been some controversy over the whole issue of how the opening ceremony went. Many people thought it went on just too long and that it didn't go according to plan. Do you feel in retrospect that that part of the Games could have been organised better?
It's a difficult one because in the initial timelines that we were given, the games were perhaps going to go, the opening ceremony was going to last about an hour longer than we had anticipated. But it's very difficult in the Pacific, you know, once a performer has a stage to perform on and the music is not pre-recorded, then they just keep dancing, and they dance very well. And I think when you look at the whole ceremony, it was a magnificent performance on quite a broad stage that's never happened before.
So all I need. Can I just get you maybe to do a noddy? I'll just get him to quickly film me pretending to listen.
Falling asleep in the
Yeah. No, and that way they'll be able to use it. So, yeah, there you go. So, will you be able to have a bit of a holiday at the end of all of this?
No, we're going to Jamaica on Sunday.
Jamaica?
To bid for the World Netball.
Oh, I see. Oh, there you go. So just really never ends.
Just a bit, yeah.
I see. And, oh, wow, Jamaica.
And the week after I was supposed to go to Zimbabwe, but it doesn't confirm.
Do you still work as a doctor? Do you still practice?
I worked for the last 6 weeks.
Oh, that's
But normally I work in the morning, and then the afternoons I work at home.
I see. And you're based here in Sydney? You always have been? Are there many doctors of Ratuman descent, or are you one of the few?
About 15, especially the majority of them come from the same district that I come from.
I see.
In all the senior positions in health. So in our practice there's 2 of us, who's about Dr. Moore, the very senior initially, and
Rotuma, I've always been absolutely fascinated, but I'm fascinated by the concept of Polynesian islands within, mainly Indonesian.
Perhaps would be more viable in a lot of the Pacific, but there's more advantages to being part of Fiji. So you sort of do this part of the region.
Who's the Rotuman?
Even in the army, the first local army.
Oh, is that right?
They're fairly well placed.
Who was it, the head of the electoral committee? Up the line? Yeah. Thank you. I won't keep you another second. So. No, I didn't. But thanks again. Thank you so much. And good luck for the future.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yo, Naka. Set được. That's the way. Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Reporting from back of the National Stadium. We have the interview.
Hey, interview mana?
Let me get. Athlete just finished. What event did you just complete?
100 meters.
Matin mana?
Do you able to break the record?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone.
Yeah, okay. Okay, over here. I'll shot put. Cut, you guys.
Cut.
And we have here.
Oh, Mike. Just.
Yo, ma. Benar, Mike. Benar. Bodybuilder, Mr. Fiji.
Mr. Fiji, weight category.
Record lagi kemarin.
Baik, kasih baik. Bos.
Aku rasa
Aku ini one of the Tahitian.
I wasn't the only one. You're gonna take the interview. No, chocolate. I was
I get that Tahitian and I.
Paul, suddenly.
behind the camera.
Honest?
Oh yeah.
It's recording.
Fiji! Come on! Hey, interview like. Again, what was you say?
Tahitian. On the line and VTFM who exactly stood up. Binaka. Smile. Campur sumi. Satu mili.
Oh, nakalamu, kami turun ke mana? Turun ini benar nama tanah. You're supposed to smoke it. You're supposed to smoke it. Okay, you take it. Hey, you finish this story. You put this story.
Okay, you warm up. You start to relax and just go with it.
Yeah, give me the ball, run straight.
Hey.
Hey, Paul, I wish to spit cigarette. Hey.
You got Brendan's story.
No, bukan ni data.
I got Brendan's story.
Okay, start off for Blue Ribbon Tangfu, relay Oscar Rasa. Second to Kamua. Light, tape.
First behind my Kelly.
Tape, chase sigibo.
Hey, Tahiti team's best.
Fiji.
Yes, best. Best because but we are here for the gold. All gold. Yes.
Simbi. Hey, John.
Thank you very much. Oh, terusin. Datang sana. Berdua. Voila! Go Fiji, go! Não, vai, Enzo, não.